Fuck you, Cable. I'm not gonna let you kill that kid. You know, this would be a lot more fun if we could open the boxes.
Right.
Holy shit. Are you Adam Baldwin?
No, I'm his replacement.
Oh, is this... Oh, yeah, this is definitely a low-budget production. Oh, no.
Something along
An
those
$80
lines.
microphone? Webcam? Is this what I've been reduced to? Zero-budget YouTube videos?
Welcome to Deadpool 3.
Oh, God. Hey, wait a minute. Facial hair. I don't remember having that. Oh, no. I've been recast. Oh, a small joke from the movie. Okay. We're not going to be able to do this.
It's probably not going to work out.
No. Let's not do this.
Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you. Aye, Captain.
Oh, we're not doing this.
Who has a ling factor and gets shot a lot? Deadpool.
We're not doing this.
We're
not gonna
on the
we're not
fly.
doing this.
It's not work.
No, we're not freestyle artists by any means.
No, you are not. Thank you for stopping before I had to kill myself. And then you.
No, I clean. No, I clean. Oh, dude, this is like just... I got catfished. This is my gauntlet.
You got ripped off.
It was supposed to be a Hasbro, whatever, Black Series, whatever you call this thing, Legend Series things that has like... It won't come off.
It's like the mask from Goosebumps.
I was going to say the mask from the mask, but it's just...
It was like this mask.
Deadpool 2, spoiler-free review. I'm sorry, no spoilers in this review. Me and Tyler have seen the movie. I have now seen it twice. Get out of here. And we want to talk about it with you guys, and so we have a breakdown in here so we can kind of follow and give you ideas of what we thought, just in case you haven't seen it. So, are you ready without any further ado to commence the review?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Always. Never.
Is this going to be another 3-hour X-Men video? Come on, we're all ready.
But how often do I get what I want? As an Infinity War reference. Okay, first off, I want to talk about, and just deal with the fact that we're going to be comparing this one to the first one a lot, because they were only 2 years apart, and what else are you going to compare it to? Because Deadpool's very different than a lot of things. How does the action of the film compare to the first movie?
Fantastically.
Fantastically. I concur with your statement, my good scholar friend. The action, I think, far in a way surpasses the first movie.
It's much better.
It looks better, like just from obviously there's still a lot of CGI, but the effects budget has improved. Their creativity with using Deadpool's healing factor, I think, makes for much more entertainment.
They used it a lot, and they used it really well. I think. Yeah, like you said, it's much better than the first one, but you got to remember the first one didn't look bad. They didn't do it really bad with their budget, especially. So.
But they also were very limited in what they did. Like they cut out a full gunfight at the end because we got $2 million left. We got to use it all on the falling ship in the yard. So, but they got a little bit more of a budget. Looked good. Action scenes were very, very entertaining. Obviously, you have the director of John Wick. So, what did you expect? Moving on, or you got anything else?
No. We can keep going.
Moving on. Speaking of the director of John Wick, perfect transition into how do we feel about his flavor all over this movie as opposed to Tim Miller, who left the project. David Leitch, I believe is his name, and he was half of the directors that did John Wick.
One of the guys that killed John Wick's dog.
Yes.
I really liked it. I think that he did a good job. I was worried about that when Tim Miller left that it wasn't going to be the same kind of thing, but it's got Ryan Reynolds all over it. Whole project.
That's what I was probably going to say is like both these movies feel like Ryan Reynolds movies, and I think that the lack of difference between 1 and 2 just goes to show that it's Ryan Reynolds' project, and the director. Granted, the action was better having this director, but I think as far as the tone of the film, the director didn't have a lot of play in it. This is how it felt to me.
At least as far as like Taika Waititi and Thor 3 was all over the film.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a lot more subtle.
Gotcha.
But I do feel like this one, when it needed to, took itself more seriously than the first one did.
Definitely had some great points where there was actual serious stuff that was executed very well.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to some of the new characters. We'll try to get through those. We'll definitely go more in depth with these characters in the spoiler review. But for right now, let's talk about Cable. Everyone's been wondering about Thanos as Cable.
Cable, all right. Finally getting to the good part, I see.
Thanos as Cable.
Yes.
Oh shit, we keep hitting this. This has got to stop. Cable, Josh Brolin did a really good job at looking like Cable.
Sure.
He was really cool. He was really badass. I'm not sure it's a spoiler, but I wanted more Cable.
I think that's fair. It's not really a spoiler.
He's in the movie a lot, so don't misunderstand that. I just wanted more Cable.
And it's almost like saying I wanted more from him than of him. Because like you said, he's in the movie a lot.
More from him.
But we don't get to know all that much about him. This is not Cable's movie. This is not the Cable Deadpool movie.
Right.
This is Deadpool 2, and Cable shows up. And you just kind of might have to go in there with
Cable.
that mindset. Yeah, it's an introduction to Cable.
I really hope that Josh Brolin comes back.
Right. We got to see a little bit of his powers. We don't get to learn anything about the... Well, I can't go into spoilers. But you do get to see his power set a little bit.
It doesn't matter, because his powers aren't as cool as mine, right?
Without going too into depth there.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on before I just...
Domino.
Domino. As you can see in the trailer, her power of luck is very cinematic, despite what Deadpool might say. And Domino's probably a relatively new character for you. I've known about Domino for a while through some of the animated stuff, but how did you feel her portrayal was in the film?
She was really cool. She was awesome. Her actor...
Zazie Beetz.
Don't you wish your actress was hot like me?
Played really well, the character.
Plus she was charming.
I agree. I think that she was a great addition to the team. Everything that happened with her obviously was lucky, but it was very... I'm just repeating. Very cinematic.
Yes.
Very good. Very well done. I liked her character.
She's kind of like bubbly and subtle at the same time. Like she seemed like she was kind of happy and go lucky and really go easy. But when your power is like not having to give a shit about anything,
right,
it kind of makes sense that's how you're...
She was really cool.
Yeah. Cool in both like the fact like, wow, she's really cool, and like cool level. Like she never lost her shit. It was never like, oh my god, she never overreacted to anything. So Domino is awesome. Keep a lookout for her. Zazie Beetz is awesome if you need to see her. And anything else, go watch the show Atlanta. That it for Domino?
That's it for Domino.
Domino, no. Alright, moving on to Julian, what is his name? I'm trying to think of the actor's name. Julian Dennison, I believe is his name, and he plays Russell, or Fire Fist, and he's one of the new additions. He is the kid that Deadpool is trying to protect, as you see in the trailers.
You'll never take him alive, Thanos!
What did we think of him?
I like the kid. I think he was a good actor. I don't know. I don't know how I felt about him. I wanted more from him and less at the same time.
I completely understand that. He was, as far as all the things that work really well in this movie, to me, he was a walking plot device. He was a MacGuffin. He was a MacGuffin as a human character that everything just kind of centered around, but didn't feel the need to care for him all that much, or as much as Deadpool did. And I don't have all that much else. The acting, he did a good job acting. He was funny. There was moments that made me laugh with his character. But whether or not I see him in another movie, I don't really care.
know a New Zealand accent could be that thick. I've never heard that thick of a New Zealand accent.
Oh, there you go. He got New Zealand.
Maybe that's just normal New Zealand, and I've always just heard it toned back. Yeah.
That's highly possible. Anything else about Russell?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Moving on to the X-Force. Or are we?
No.
No.
Let's save it.
We're going to save it. So let's talk about, we talked about it a little bit with Russell, but how we felt about the plot as a whole without actually getting into it, about the structure, the pacing, the weight or the joke, just stuff like that.
I think that the whole thing is tied together in itself really well. The whole
I agree.
way that it's strung along, the webs of all the stories, how they just intertwine. It's very well executed, I think.
This is where I differ with most people online, is they're saying they didn't feel that this movie had the same heart as the first one. And I think the heart is, it's still tied and rooted in the same place as it was in the first one. And that is just kind of all around Deadpool and Vanessa's relationship. I feel like that carries through with both of these movies. If you loved it in the first one, it's still important here.
I know just how to tug at your heartstrings.
And how much he's trying to protect this kid. Like, you get to see into Deadpool and the heart of the character in both films. And so I don't think that falls apart whatsoever in this movie. So that works in the plot. The ensemble cast that we only got a small taste of in the first one, I think all works really well. Everybody that showed up came to play in this movie. And I think the pacing is significantly better. I watched the double feature, got to watch them back to back, and there's definitely moments in the first Deadpool that drag. I watched Deadpool 2 days in a row, or 2 days in the last 3 days, whatever, or 2 times in the last 3 days. Anyways, the pacing in that movie.
2 times?
I've seen times.
Two times. You said 1, 2.
One and one?
In the last 3, 2.
Yep.
2.
5 equals 5.
5, 2,
Yep.
2. Pacing.
Yeah, pacing's better.
Is astronomically better because the storyline is, it's not all over the place like the first one was. And granted, I kind of liked how they bounced back with the origin and the current in the first Deadpool, so that you didn't just get a big long origin story, or we're waiting for the origin to pass to get to Deadpool.
Right.
So that was good. But yeah, you can't argue that the pacing is miles better in this one.
It's way better than your pacing. Holy shit.
Concur 100%. Overall,
Indubitably.
Indubitably, I could say. On that note, pros and cons of the movie as a whole, humor, plot, whatever. What really worked for you, and what possibly did not work for you?
Pros. Jokes are better. They land better on their feet.
Yep.
Uh,
I think there's more.
Pros. Cinematically, it was a lot better. There are a lot more scenes that do well because they had a bigger budget. Okay. Pros. Cable looked great. Cons? Or do you want to do your pros?
I'll do my pros. That's a good point. We'll go all positive and then a couple of negative things at the end here. Pros. The use, 2 things that they kind of had in the first one: the use of his healing factor and the fourth wall breaks. I think the fourth wall breaks and the healing factor in the fight scenes were much more well utilized in this film and very entertaining. And I had light chuckles in the first movie, but I had a couple belly laughs in this movie. So in that aspect, it completely achieved what it set out to do, in my opinion.
Entertaining for you, but a lot more pain for me.
Mm-hmm. Cons. More cable. More of cable.
Cons. More of Domino.
More of
Which
Domino.
is funny because the reshoots were to put more of both of them in there. And we're still like, more.
More.
Please.
Cons. There was no Spider-Man.
That'll happen. It's not going to be what you want, but it'll happen. We're in talks with Toby.
Yes. Cons. Josh Brolin oddly did not look like Thanos in this film. Just kidding. Okay. It's all jokes aside, I don't have that many cons for this movie. Like, I think me and Tyler were talking about it, and he said he kind of expected more out of it or wanted more out of that, which I think is just sprinkled throughout the film. Like, we want a little more cable, we want a little more Domino, we could use even more fourth wall, but like everything that was great about this movie, you could have given us another 20 mints of it, and we would.
That was one of my biggest cons too. Is that when the movie was ending, I'm like, I'm not ready for it to be over. Sure. The movie comes together full circle fine. You're just like, I don't want the movie to end. Yeah, we could have been, more pigeonholed with Deadpool, but I think that the movie wouldn't be able to take itself seriously at the times where it had to if we got too much of Deadpool being Deadpool.
And I think another little con to throw in there is it would have been great to see more of the returning cast. Like, some of them got shortchanged a little bit. Some of them might got bigger roles. I think Colossus, Dopinder got more to do. T.J. Miller, maybe about the same, maybe less. Negasonic was the big one where I was just like, you didn't get to do much. But
Yeah. But,
sorry.
yeah.
So that's kind of wrapping up our thoughts about the movie. What would you rate this movie, I guess, compared to the first one?
Compared to the first one, if I don't know what I gave the first one, I'd probably call the first one an 8. This one's probably about an 8.5. 8.
I think that's fair. I have a little bit bigger of a gap between the two films. I believe I gave the first Deadpool an 8 as well.
I just don't know what I give 9s for. I give everything an 8, remember?
I know, but we gave Jungle Book a 10.
Oh, come on! You gave Jungle Book a 10?
And I was telling Bryce this. We were having a conversation. He's like, your ratings are all over the place. You gave this, and this. Like, how come you got Winter Soldier's less than Jungle Book or whatever?
If it was up to Bryce, he'd give Arrow a 10.
There's a difference between rating something on entertainment value and rating something on quality value. When we rated like Fantastic Beasts and Jungle Book, I gave them 10s because
What did I give Fantastic Beasts?
I'm not sure, but I couldn't find a flaw. And that's why I was like, if I can't pick anything out of this movie that I would change,
Right.
you get a 10. Like, I guess you get a 10.
Right. I guess.
There you go. So Deadpool, for me, because there's very few things that I would change, I give Deadpool 2 a 9. Deadpool 1 an 8. 2 very great films. A sequel that, in my opinion, is better than the first one. And that's why you all need to go out and see it, because there's a lot of people saying that it isn't. There's a good chunk of people that's saying that it is better. We both think it's better, right? Mm-hmm. Correct? So go out and see it. See what you think. Have a mics. That's all I got to say about that.
On me, but I'm not going to buy it.
Yes.
Join us for the spoiler review.
If I join you for the spoiler review, are you going to bring the energy this time? Jesus, it's like you had to tiptoe around a bunch of stuff. Alright. Thanks, guys, for watching the Deadpool 2 spoiler-free review from Fansplash. Goodbye. All the money in the world couldn't buy them Deadpool. Oh, wait, what money?